Okay guys, now we're going to be going to the final boss of Dark Visions 22. This is the Blackiron Behemoth. It's a stone and a machine fight. It has 80 to all resistances, so take any element you choose. It is also equal to defense and spirit. Now if you're looking for like the best possible score, you're going to want to use a guide that has like Balthier or Nelica, etc. But I don't have those, so we're going to be doing the best I can with my units. Now we're going to be going for a turn 6 clear. So thankfully, if you do want to run variants, my clear is at least relatively fast. So based on my calculations, my party can do between 7 to 12 billion damage. Anyway, here's the team. Let's go ahead and get a clear in, and then I will potentially run it a few more times. Oh, as far as the boss does non-elemental single target magic every turn. This can actually be reflected if you so choose. Reflect ring is a big help. I'm not going to be using that because you don't really need it. Single target physical damage, and then AoE non-elemental damage every third turn, which is going to be you'll see. Here we go. So Zahn is going to Zidane STMR for the LB damage buff, because we're not going to have time to do a big LB damage buff on the party. So Zidane's STMR fixes that. We're going to use Wilk to Shifted LB to start stacking up. We're going to use Chizuru to just Rallying Cry, just to fill LB gauge. We're going to use Kaito to Crashing Waves to break the boss for dealing less damage here. Esther can go ahead and Boundless Stasis to provoke. And then Sylvie can triple Clever Paladin Strike. Now, if your Esther is low on LB gauge, then you can use Sylvie first and you'll be fine. So here's the single target magic stuff. It should do very low damage to Esther. 400 damage, not a big deal. Alright, so now, turn 2, we are going to use Chizuru to Stone Killer. We're going to use Sylvie to triple Clever Strike again, so that we can once again do Wilk's LB to stack it up. Kaito is just going to Lion Emblem, just because whatever. And then Esther, on this turn, is going to Storm Guardian. We're going to Omni Cover, and we're going to Energizing. That is going to help take a lot less damage on Esther here. Okay. Some single target stuff again, and we evade the physical damage. And then I gave Esther Blizzard Orb so that she can get her LB filled very easily. Okay, so we're going to now use Sylvie to Paladin's Defense to buff Spirit. We're going to Clever Strike, and we're going to use I've Got Your Back on Wilk so that we can get his LB filled up. Now Wilk is going to use either Rock Style or Quake Blade, depending on your weapon choice. We're going to use Chizuru to focus Strength, focus Body, focus Spirit. Kaito is going to use his Shifted LB for a 90% break and a Katana in Peril. And we're going to guard Esther because this turn is Wave Cannon. And Wave Cannon can be a little bit painful, but not really, because there you go. We've got good breaks from Kaito. We took like single digit damage almost. Alright, next up we're going to use Kaito to Man of Few Words. This is a 200 self-only machine killer. Now, the boss is going to disease this turn, so we're going to use the Jade Pendant to give us disease immunity. If you don't have the Jade Pendant, then either use like a different buff, wear disease immunity, or just like deal with disease. Wilk, actually before that, let's go to the base form with Esther, where we're going to use her Shifted LB to put the field up. Now, Wilk will do Vengeance against the Dreadnought, so that we do a 90% break. And then we're going to do the Thunder Magus on Sylvie to start that big amplify. Alright, so we are in the base form at this point with Esther, but we've got all kind of mitigations now, so the damage she's taking is very, very low. Alright, so turn 5, Sylvie is now going to Shifted LB for the buff. Chizuru, Tyvis' Spirit. Kaito, Tyvis' Spirit. We're going to kill next turn, as you can obviously imagine. Esther is going to Magnus, Bolting, and True Storm for the big Thunder in Peril. And then Wilk to the base form, where we're going to do double Rock Style and his Magnus. Okay. So once again, a little bit of single target damage on Esther. Should be fine. There we go. So we definitely took less than 5,000 damage. Now, the boss does have an attack and magic buff starting on turn 6 and beyond. But we're going to kill this turn, so we don't care. If you're not killing on turn 6, get rid of that buff. Now anyway, Zidane's STMR has now finished, so Zahn will triple. We're going to critical on Chizuru to steal that 250 Stone Killer, critical on Kaito to steal the 200 Machine Killer, and spread that to the party. Now we have 250 and 200 Killer on everyone. Kaito, base form LB, is going to chain with triple bolting Sylvie, and those match. Shift form LB on Chizuru. Esther, base form LB, and then shifted LB on Wilk, who is now maximum stacks. And we're going to chain all this up. That'll be a 100 count chain score. And it's going to deal between 7 and 12 billion damage. We're looking for a high roll. Also, make sure your chain is 143. That way no one got missed any hits. Alright, so we've got 9.7. That is not good enough. That is a very low roll. I will be coming back in a moment with a higher roll. Let's go ahead and retreat, because we didn't kill the boss yet, and by retreating, it keeps the boss only costing 1 energy per attempt. So it's really good when you're doing variance re-rolling to never kill the boss until you're happy with your roll. Anyway, see you in a moment. Alright guys, let's try another variance roll. So we're looking for, I'd like 10 or better and I'd be happy. So give me 10 or better. Let's see people roll high if they can. And we get 10.5. My max is 12.6. That's good enough. Whatever. I've got things to do. We're going to keep it. 10.5 on the final boss is good enough for me. Alright. Let's see who rolled low on that one. Thankfully, that was a really quick farm. So Zahn, as expected, did nothing. Esther, her damage range is 1.8 to 2.9. She literally got a perfect, basically. She's like 100 million under her max. Wow, that is really good. Wilk, 1.6 to 3.2. He did almost perfect as well. That is really surprising. Kaito, his range is 1.1 to 1.9, so he's short 400 million. Sylvie, her range is 0.3 to 0.5. She did average. And then Chizuru is very disappointing in this Dark Visions. My God, Chizuru always with the low rolls. So she's 2.3 to 3.8. 2.3 to 3.8. She's 1.2 short. Yeah, so there's our missing 2 billion, Chizuru. So Esther and Wilk got a near perfect. And then Chizuru got a serious low roll. My God. That is a really low roll on Chizuru. Well, I already accepted it. Too late now. And rank 315. There we go. There's actually about 200 cheaters, so rank 215 is actually more like rank 115 after the cheaters are purged. So that's respectable. Anyway, let me show you the team we used. Man, that Chizuru roll so bad. That was almost a minimum possible roll of Chizuru. How did she do so low? That's killing me. But okay, whatever. So Zahn is just using Call of the Wild and Zidane's STMR because we don't have a big LB buff for Chizuru or Kaito, so Zahn handles that, and then he steals the big killers on the kill turn, and that is it. Esther in the base form, let's go to the base form first. Base form is just damage, LB damage versus machines and stone, which obviously she gears for extremely easily. Stone. 300 stone and max machine, yeah, as expected. Shift form is tank. We start in the shift form with auto shell, auto general mitt, blizzard orb, passive provoke, evasion, and then some high spirit. And she provokes all the magical stuff, or she covers it and evades it, etc. So we took less than 5,000 because of that. And then she covers it all with Omni Cover on turn 3. Wilk in the base form, just whatever. Make sure you're using the axe. Shift form, you can use either axe or fist if you want. This time, axe paid off because Wilk got a really high roll for me, so it helped out. I think he's maxed on everything. Let me double check. Machine, 300, stone. Yep, he is maxed on everything. Maxed LB damage. He did good damage and a good break. Kaito in the base form is LB damage versus machines and golems, and the reason we're taking him is because he has a 200% self-only machine killer, and he does the katana and peril as well. And I think he's maxed on everything. Also, he does really good damage against machines anyhow, because he has the racial machine mods. Maxed LB, max machine, and max stone. Yeah, max on everything. Shift form, basically irrelevant. Type is a spirit in the shift form. That's all that matters. Sylvie, we never use the base form. Shift form is once again geared for damage, technically speaking. So damage against stones and machines. And she had 300 machine, 275 stones. So she was actually geared pretty well. And remember, she does not target the boss's spirit. So you don't got to break spirit with Sylvie. She targets the boss's defense. And we had 8,400 spirit. It's kind of weird the way that works. But yes, Sylvie's very unique. And then Chizuru in the base form, Jade Moon Pendant for the status immunity, Typhus Spirit for the LB buff. And then shift form is LB damage versus stones and machines. And she gave herself a 250 stone killer, which we stole with Zahn and spread around. Shift form, I gave her the best gear. She should have had the best damage, but thanks to variance, she didn't. And it feels really bad. Maxed LB, max machine, and max stone, and that is the party. Okay, so currently, if you ignore the 200 plus cheaters, I am currently rank 115. And just to reiterate for people that are going to be like, I thought you were upset about Dark Vision, you're high ranked. The rank was, again, never ever a concern for me. I was not concerned about my rank, I was concerned about the fun. And even though I'm trying to stay cheerful and stay in a good mood, I am still pretty irritated about my terrible score on the Gygas fight because of the cap change. But that's, that topic has been discussed, so we're just going to move on and, move on from here. So anyway, there was my Dark Visions clears. Because I am overall sort of unhappy with this Dark Visions, I am not going to be doing multiple clears. So if my single clear only on the final bosses is not something you can easily replicate, check someone else's videos, I guess, or just make alterations as need be. But there's my Dark Vision stuff. Now, as far as the other stuff for the week, like the Chronicle battle, the Judge Magister fight, etc., I'll be doing that tomorrow in a different video. All right, see you in a bit.